Yes. We can go ahead and get it just started off
Let's
then.
do it,
You
man.
know what I mean?
Yep.
Welcome to the Where My Dad's At podcast. I'm Will. This is Marco. Our second co-host, third co-host is not here. He's in the pool. You might hear him in the background swimming, jumping and splashing. We got the kids in the pool.
Yep.
Dad's over here trying not to sweat too hard. No, we're just enjoying the beginning of summer, man. You know what I mean? I think the last episode, the one that if you're watching the episode before this, I named it Hello Summer because it's kind of like, hi, I see summer coming, right?
Yeah.
Summer is here now.
Dear Summer.
Officially.
Like Memphis Bleak, Dear Summer.
Dear Summer. Yeah, we can name it Dear Summer. That's
Dear
classic.
Summer.
That's
Yeah.
classic.
Yep,
Man.
Yep.
So summertime is here. I know kids getting out of school. Your son is out of school, right?
He's out of school. Yeah, he got out of school this past Friday, man. I think Suffolk, Portsmouth, and I don't know other cities, but I know they started early.
Right.
So since they started early, they get out early.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my kids are in, I think, the last school district to still be in school in this area.
Oh man, that's
you know what I'm saying? So
stinks.
yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it's like I get like one more week of total peace around the house.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to take advantage of it, getting some projects done and stuff like that. So we actually got a big flooring project that we're about to do in the house.
Okay.
So yeah, over the summer, and which is gonna mean like the whole house is gonna be tore up for a while because we got carpet basically throughout 80% of the house, right?
Okay.
So we taking all that carpet up.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a good project.
Yeah, a little handyman special, a little DIY, do it yourself type job. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you know anybody who knows anything, send them my way. Especially if I can get a discount on some flooring. That's what I really need.
Yeah.
I know you know a lot of people.
I know a lot of people, man. I gotta go look through my call list, man. I might know somebody, man.
Yeah. Put the feelers out there to some of your people, man. Like I know you probably deal with some real estate agents. I know you probably deal with some people who are contractors and stuff like that. They always had a plug on like flooring and different tools and stuff like that.
I got you.
Yeah. You put that out there for me because we haven't selected the flooring yet, but
okay.
And I mean that's for our other podcast, our other channel if we ever started where we doing projects, handyman projects, right?
Projects.
Yeah. Have to come up here and talk about those, man.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we just going into the summer. Like, what's your big plans for the summer so far? You think?
So far, luckily it looks like I don't have to travel nowhere for business, so that's a good thing. I looked at my schedule, so I'm clear all the way through until maybe November. So
nice.
That's a plus. I can able to take my family, maybe like a little small mini trip somewhere.
Yeah.
I think I might be planning a trip probably to Richmond, DC area, whatever.
Gotcha.
Let's just chill out. Do like a day trip, whatever, maybe 2 days tops.
Right.
I'll just chill out. I know me and Marco. I know a lot of people be seeing online. We started our Sunday family training.
Right.
Me and him gets up every morning. We train. Keep him fresh for the soccer league. Right. Make sure he's staying fresh. Nothing crazy. Just walking, doing like lightweight, something like that.
Yeah. We're gonna have to join y'all on those.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll have to join.
And then he's gonna be coming with me to the Y pretty much every day, man. He got access to the basketball court, racquetball court, pickleball court, whatever. So he kind of take advantage of dad being a manager, whatever. Kind of like I can pretty much do that. But one of our things that we like to do too, we started doing too now. We listen every morning and afternoon too to DJB.
Okay.
Local DJ.
Right.
And he wants to go to the Fresh Radio store in Norfolk, which I didn't know he had one.
I didn't either.
I didn't know he had one. So me and Marco, he said for this one of his summertime things, he wants to go after work to his record store.
You gotta holler at me.
He got a record store over there in MacArthur Mall on the first floor. He actually spends in his store. He has it on. He broadcast it.
Right.
And I was looking around. I said, "This looks familiar." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm in the local spot, MacArthur, such and such." I said, "Well, dang, if I knew this, I would have been people in the background, like getting like records, whatever."
Yeah, live on it.
Yeah. And Mark was a big fan, so I started following him on Twitch. I started following him on Twitch. So one of our summertime things that go to his shop, whatever. Marcus said he wants to buy a record. We got a record player. He wants to at least have it He's a big Kendrick Lamar fan, whatever. So he wants to buy a couple of his albums on a record.
Yeah.
You know, Marcos, he's really into music.
He is,
especially old school music. Well, for him, it's old school, but even way back before then, whatever. So one of his things now, he said he started doing during the summertime. It's pretty much I'll play like an old school song, like back from like the 60s, 70s, that rapper sample,
right?
And he'll kind of like guess what it is. And so far, man, he been getting them, man. So
really?
He has an ear for music. So I think
nice.
This summer I'm gonna kind of like award him whatever by going to the shop, don't get a record and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, that's cool. When you said that, it's funny because we went down to the flea market at Virginia Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the vendors down there had a bunch of vinyls.
Oh man!
So like old classic joints, you know what I mean? So like I know that's something that I would definitely love to go to the spot that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And we need to who's the DJ again? DJ B.
DJ B.
Buddha Brothers.
No.
DJ B. No, DJ B. I know
DJ B came out after the Buddha Brothers. He been doing like back in the maybe like early 2000 whatever. He what's that spot on Granby? He used to it's kind of like a big auditorium, whatever. He used to DJ like at nighttime for like special DJ Red Alert. There you go. DJ Red Alert would come along, whatever.
Right.
And he'll be like coming off with that.
Right.
But yeah, he every morning he's on 91.1, which is a Norfolk State radio station. And I follow him just because, we be doing with the YMCA, be doing a lot, whatever. If you listen to the radio station, whatever, it's a lot of like South of the Real YMCA event happening.
Right.
So me being the manager, I started following him more, whatever.
I need to follow him too. Then.
That's why I think I sent a text message, whatever. Cause I sent him a message when they were going live, whatever. I said, hey, look, hey D, I said, B, man, I got you on, 2 free comps, whatever,
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was like buzzing, whatever. He's chilling with it. He said, hey man, you rubbed his belly. You think I got to lose some weight? I was like. And I want to be like, no, nothing like that, man. I'm just I'm a master trader, whatever. But and I get it, whatever. But
we definitely need to go down there and connect with them then.
I think I have to, man.
Yeah, we definitely need to go down there and holler with them.
What we should do for the summertime is me, you, even the kids, whatever, just bring them to the shop, whatever. Let them know, like, hey, man, I'm the one that reached out to you, whatever.
Right.
My name is Team Health and Fitness, Team Marco. It's called Team Marco Health and Fitness.
Right.
My name, whatever. So, and I'm always up there putting the message out, whatever. I put it out there, whatever, because everybody. And one of my training is if you don't put out the information, whatever, that they're not going to know.
Right.
I might be something like I'm bugging them, but at the same time, kind of like I'm going to bug you to the point, like, man, I know this cat. Man.
Right. Yeah. So, that's what's up. Yeah. We need to go through it. We're talking about him right now on the podcast, so we need to tag him in the post for the podcast.
I'll give you the tag information, whatever. You better than that. But yeah, let's do that, man. I think because Marcos was like, man, wouldn't it be something, man, if he just invited you to come on the radio station in the morning time.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Why not?
He got what's that lady's name? Rhonda Rhodes goes there every Thursday, talk about the controversials going on.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I'm kind of like, you know what? Why not try? It's always a yes or no.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like that, man. I like that. Yeah. We need to link up with him and tap in with him for sure. Go check out his spot and go check him out on the ones and twos and see what he putting down.
Follow him, man.
Yeah, I'll follow him for sure.
I think Friday he did all Prince.
Oh, really?
He was mixing in Prince beats with other or she sampled or whatever, man. He's one of those dudes, man.
I like that.
Follow that.
Yep. I like that. Yeah, for sure. So DJ B, we coming to check you out, man.
Yep. Soon,
maybe this week we'll swing down there and see what's up with him.
My times have kind of opened now since Mark was out of school. Whatever,
yeah.
So you let me know. We'll make it a field trip.
Yeah, family day. Yeah. I like that. And then and you say he's selling albums and stuff too. So yeah, we definitely can pick up some stuff.
Like an old record store.
Man. Yeah, I like that.
I like that's my vibe. Whatever.
That's vintage classic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my daughter is actually big into that. She's getting into collecting like vinyls and stuff. So yeah, she'll be down with that for sure.
All right, cool. Let's
do
it.
Yeah, it sounds like a connection for sure, a natural connection. So we'll do
trying,
that.
Man.
Yeah,
I'm reaching out.
You're doing it, man.
I'm trying, man.
You're doing it. I always tell you.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing. I like it, man. I appreciate it, and We just need to follow through and go ahead and make it happen, man.
Yeah.
Let people know that we got the podcast and put people on to us, and while we get put on to different people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm glad you told me about that. I'm excited about that.
I got you, man. I got us.
Yeah, facts. What else exciting been going
on? I know work been exciting, kind of like exciting, like more things I'm doing, but it's a lot of people. I think my new executive didn't know that we have a podcast show. I think she saw us on Instagram, and I sent it to her on a message, and she was like, "Oh my God, I did not know." I'm like, yeah. But they're again, excited for the job. Why, as I should mean, it's kind of like they're trying to get me they want me to get to a position that's higher than I am.
Right.
And it's fine. But I told them, experience, whatever, I want to be comfortable with something that I'm going to be happy with.
Right.
Because, they showed me the dollar amount, and I told them, and I gave them the best explanation I could, whatever. I said, I can make a lot of money, but I said, I'd rather have less money and be more happy than, you know what I mean? Vice versa, whatever. I'm like, at the end of the day, man, the money's not gonna make me happy, because the job is make me miserable.
Right.
They were saying like, this, thinking about it, I'm like, I will, but my decision's my decision, If you have anything with health, maybe, I'll be down for it, whatever. But I said, besides that, but again, that seems like I'm doing my job. I'm doing it pretty well. And, take from right there.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Facts, man. For me, it's been a little slow at work.
Okay.
But actually went over there the other day and hung out just to I guess get a little extra training or whatever.
Okay.
And but I'm still learning and I'm still looking at it as a positive. I took my daughter over there to let her see like the studio and different things like that, and she liked that.
Nice.
And then we went and heard a friend of ours speak. She was speaking there that day. They hold a chapel service every Wednesday.
Okay.
And so we went over there to take part in the chapel service and worship and hear her. She delivered a powerful message, and the message was about like not overthinking things, and instead allowing God to lead us in situations through different things.
I like that.
Yeah, it was powerful. It was powerful. So
nice.
I wanted my daughter to be there to hear that as well. And just feel that atmosphere, be around creative people and people who are doing things just to uplift and help out. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So
I like that.
And serve God through it. So
nice.
Yeah,
I like that speech.
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah. It was real good. It was real good. So yeah, nothing really new going on, but that's okay. That's okay. Again, time to focus on some of the projects we got going on.
Yeah.
And I'm doing better with some editing, looking at some new equipment for that, hopefully.
Okay.
And just trying to put myself, on a regimen of let's try to get some stuff done.
Gotcha.
Let's try to get ahead on things.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I have no complaints in that regard. Really just getting excited for summer and trying to make sure that, like we already talked about, keeping the kids busy.
Yeah.
I want to get the kids over here, and so we can all work out and do some different things like that. Get them ready for the fall, or better prepared for the fall.
Yeah.
And so y'all doing your workouts and stuff inspire me to get them involved.
Yeah. Marco's now waking up kind of early, so he's getting kind of that feel when he sees me get up early, whatever. He was like, if Dad can do it. Well, as I see, whatever, if Dad can get up early and work out, because like I got up at 6:30, I'm sitting there like went in the kitchen, watching the news, whatever, still checking messages, whatever. And around 6:45, Marco walked into it. He's like, "Hey, we working out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do this, man.
Let's go. Yeah."
He said, "Should I wake Mom up?" I'm like, no, wake her up, man. Like, go ahead and get it in. By the time we get done, around 8 o'clock, we'll get done by at least 8:15. After we're done, we usually walk from here to the ODU Tri-City and back. But when I get my running shoes, me and him are gonna start running from here all the way to ODU Tri-City and back 2 times.
Right.
Get that, routine going.
Okay.
And like, yeah, man, just he's getting that feel like, if I want to be better or whatever, this are things I gotta do, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm telling him like, hey, get up, whatever. He's making his choices for himself. And I'm kind of like, as a dad, I'm kind of like, man, that's big. That's big. I'm like, all right, man, like he sees me, again, a child sees what's going on, whatever, And I told him like, I always
rubbing off on him,
right? And I always told him, I said, hey, look, I'm not going to tell you, and I'm not going to pressure you to do these things. You're going to have to want it. I said, a true athlete wants these things, right? I'm not going to be the one that's going to be
no amount of pushing by nobody else.
No, absolutely not. And again, I don't front on other parenting styles of how to do it, whatever.
Yeah.
But just how I see things, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm very proud of him on that. So we're gonna keep on like pushing that gas pedal, whatever.
Yeah.
Keep on going, whatever. Even when he sees me, people might see him on the videos with when I do my boot camp classes. I'm doing my clientels in the gym. He's always there and he sees it, whatever. So kind of like rub it off on him.
Yeah. And I mean, he likes to play sports, so he's gonna realize the advantage that he's gonna have if he works out and he does that, puts that extra work in. He's gonna be faster, stronger, and better than everybody he comes in contact with. So that's what separates the good from the great. You know what I mean? That extra work.
Yeah, man. It all pays off. I mean, he got the award for the most athletic in his grade level.
Right.
So
which that was
teachers, kids, they
like a no-brainer for me.
I was like, he came, he showed him whatever. I showed that congratulations, whatever. Really, I want to be like smack, like I know. But I don't want to get his head all hyped up, whatever. You know what I mean? So I had to keep my calm. It's funny with my wife.
Keep him humble, right?
Yeah, right. It's funny. My wife, when he went to the bed, my wife said, "You wanted to do all." I said, "I did."
Yeah,
I kept it cool.
Nice.
I kept it cool. I said, "I'll relate it to somebody pretty soon."
Yeah.
I mean, he'll see the podcast, but
he
still didn't see it though.
Nah. I think any positive reinforcement you give them about it is great. Like you like you said, you want to do it, but you understand the importance of, okay, well, what would that do for him? You know what I mean? And that might make him start to feel like, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, I said, no,
Dad think I'm the greatest. You know what I mean? And Dad might think that in his heart. But you know what I'm saying? You gotta live your life humble, and you gotta stay hungry and work and work. Like, but I that's good to see him take that on himself, and like, because he's so close to what you're doing and sees what you're doing, that he's kind of adapted that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I think I know that Mark was going to do good things with I believe with sports. I know with his brains, it's like pretty much is going to carry him everywhere. But I keep telling him, like, as long as you want it, and you keep on doing, you got to do it, even with the books, or even with the books, with the training and life. I said, son, you can do whatever you want. And I said, I'll be here to support you. I said, whatever you need, you just let me know. I said, but I'm not going to be there to, like, push you or nudge you, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm going to be there to guide you.
Right.
I'll guide you what you need. So I just told him, like, hey, if you want to do something, man, just go for it.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, man.
Yeah. And being there, knowing that he's got you there to support him and whatever he's doing, but you're not forcing him to do it is big. Like, a lot of people don't realize, I think that you forcing him to do it at some point may lead to resentment. At some point may lead to them looking back at you like, well, Dad made me do this. And any love they might have for the sport. It might, you know what I mean? So it might take a back seat to that.
Because I want everybody to know that be watching the videos on Facebook, whatever. Like, I don't push my child to do it.
Right.
I'm not pushing them.
Right.
This is what my child wants.
Right.
And it's just because he sees me do it. Kind of like, even if vice versa, if I was a passionate basketball player, he sees me on the court, whatever. He's going to be out on the court, whatever. You know what I mean? Soccer was something that he picked up just because he watched my nephew, MJ, which is my brother's son, and he watched it. And then when he went to Bosnia, he saw the professionals playing when he was like 3, 3 years old, 3 or
Wow.
4 years old. So he's seen that.
Right.
So he came back over here. He was like, I wanna try soccer. I'm like, well, in my mind, I'm like, okay, like, all right, cool, like that's fine with me. And like, I signed him up, whatever. I'm like, I remember I showed him an old video, like when he was first time playing soccer. He was kind of like rocking back and forth, like, yeah, like I'm about to.
He's ready to get it.
And I was kind of like, oh, I think I might got something in my hands, whatever.
You created a monster.
Yeah, I said, oh boy, but yeah, man, I think he's gonna be good with life, man. I'm gonna be there. That's why I take care of myself. I do what I do to stay on this earth, whatever, as much as long as possible. I be telling a lot of these dads, whatever, younger dads, like, hey man, just take care of yourself, to be there. If you got kids, to be there for your kids. There's a lot of kids that don't have fathers, man. It's very, very, very hard for them.
Very hard.
It's very hard, man.
Very hard.
You know, it's a mom can raise a son, but so much a mom can teach a boy to be a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I be looking at my blood pressure, but I was like, God, I don't want to take these pills. But I said, I have to, just because this is.
You want to be here for
I
him.
want to be here for him, whatever. You know what I mean? I do these things. I'm kind of like, all right, man. Like it's cool, whatever. You know.
Right.
Even when I'm at work, it might be days I'm kind of like, oh man, I'm not feeling them. I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this because I want to be able to be here to support my family and make sure my family's being taken care of, whatever.
Right.
So, you know, it's one of those times, man. It's like a mental thing.
Yeah.
You know. I even took a break, which I shouldn't have done. Took a break from therapy because that was no good. I go back this Thursday. I got my appointment, whatever.
Let's go.
So I'm back on the track. I think I lost it when I went on those outings for like my job.
Yeah. It throws your schedule off.
It threw me off.
Yeah.
I got caught up with the work stuff, whatever. You know, and I start feeling like.
You could tell.
I can tell, and I'm like, oh, this is not good, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think my breaking point was, I think this past week, whatever. And I think everybody knew, kind of like, oh, don't go in my office. Don't do it to yourself.
It was like that.
Don't do it. And one of my friends, Amber, she said I think one was about to come in my office, and she said, don't go in there.
Right.
Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself, whatever. So I say, you know what? I don't want nobody to feel that way towards me. I said, let me get myself back in. I emailed her. My therapist was happy. He said, of course.
Right.
Like I said, I got you, Mr. Barnes. I'm like, okay. I'm going back. Because now it's summertime too. I got time. I'm like, all right, let me get back on the focus of things.
Yeah. We lose sight of it sometimes.
Yep.
And hold on for 1 second. I'm gonna go jump in the pool. Really just want to check that recording.
Yeah, you good.
Just kidding. I didn't jump in the pool. There's too many kids in the pool. I can't get in the pool right
they're
now.
They're going to blow, guys. You for the title.
Yeah. That's good to hear, though. That's good to hear you get back to maintaining.
Yeah, man.
And making that priority, because it's easy to lose sight. It's easy to start making other things priorities. And before you know it, you look up and a year has gone by, and I'm wondering why I'm all stressed out and I'm all like tense all the time and feel like overloaded or whatever.
Yeah, it's no good.
No.
And I knew I had to. I don't know if you ever had it. I know a lot of people. I mean, comment in the YouTube message if you ever had this. You ever been so stressed? You know you've been stressed. If you go to sleep and you're dreaming, but you think you're dreaming, and you can't move. Like you're stuck, and I'm like, oh God, I'm like, here we go again. This
really?
Like I couldn't move.
Wow.
Like somebody's holding me down. Right?
Really?
Yes. And no lie, I was like, dude, I don't know if it's stress or I said if it's the other thing, if it's the demon trying to play with. But I remember I yelled this out loud, so I must have been dreaming because my wife would have woke me up.
Right.
I said, the power of God. I said I would hit and the thing went off of me. I said it just like that, whatever.
Yeah.
And I said it again. I said I'm gonna say it, and I said I'm gonna say it again. I said the power of God. I would hit and then it was like, ooh, I woke up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going back to therapy.
Yeah.
I said I am going back.
Yeah.
I said I'm going back. I said my body did not need this. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I knew. Once I said God, whatever, he had me kind of like, hey man, all right, let's get up.
Yeah. Let's get you back plugged into the things that I give you to help you. You know what I'm saying?
I think I was doing too much of work.
Right.
Like I was working and getting this and doing that, and I wasn't giving myself time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that's the.
I didn't have balance.
That's the other exactly balance. That's it.
Yeah.
Because that's the other side of being so good at what you do.
Yeah.
If you're so good at what you do, it's very easy to get lost in what you do.
I like that. I didn't think about it like that.
And it's so easy to just focus on the next thing, the next achievement, the next task, the next project.
Yeah.
And because you're good at it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're gonna focus on that.
Yeah.
But part of being good at it too, and part of being healthy, is knowing that just because I'm good at it, I still need balance from it. You know what I mean? I still need balance. And this is another one of those things that, like, when we talk athletics, we talk sports, we talk health and working out. It's the same thing like with an exercise on muscle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you hit the same area on your body too much, you could be great at it. You could be super strong in that area, but at some point, you know better what will happen if you work out something too hard than I do. You know what I mean? Like, if nothing else, like, you gonna wear on the joints and pull them up, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man.
And you can look at some people too. What's the saying? They got sometimes they talk about lifting weights. Look like you skip leg day.
Oh, like yeah.
So that's somebody who didn't have balance, right? When you look at somebody, they don't have balance, and I raise my head. I got skinny legs. I need to work on my legs, right? But it's like balance. So as much as you like bench press and curling or whatever, you better hit them squats. You better hit some stuff on your calves, or you gonna come out looking like a lollipop. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna come out looking lopsided, right? So same thing with the mental. You know what I mean? Same thing with the spiritual. Like, we gotta have that balance.
Yeah, man.
Gotta have balance. I actually had a night last night where like I was struggling on the balance thing. I just had it on me. It was like, I feel like my balance is off. And it's funny that you brought up the dream and the sleeping, because I didn't sleep a wink last night because the balance thing was on my head. Like, I got these things that I need to get done. I got these things I want to get done, and I'm doing other stuff. And I got lost in some of that other stuff.
Gotcha.
To where all this stuff over here is kind of taking a back seat. Most importantly, like you talked about going to therapy, most importantly, like myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the whole analogy of like filling up your cup so you can now fill up the other cups, right?
Yeah.
The oxygen mask dropping, putting yours on first. Like, all of those analogies that fit that so well. Like, I had a night last night where I was really struggling. Like, I'm out of whack with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not filling up everything like I'm supposed to.
Right.
I can definitely see where you're coming from with the balance thing.
Yeah, man.
And it's more prevalent, and it's more people deal with it than not deal with it. And that's the reason why we have smartphones, smartwatches, calendars, all this stuff, because everybody struggles, and that's just the time side of it, right?
Yeah.
So even if you get your time balanced, doesn't necessarily mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we all struggle with having too much.
Yeah.
Too much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most definitely, working on the timing and the balance of what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think for me, when people want something out of me, like, for instance, I'm looking at the calendar and be like, hey, this is due by this.
Right.
I'm doing that. Demands. And that's part of the job. I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would say one thing that my department stepping on is just because we're short PT instructors, and we have a revenue every month, right?
Okay.
Our revenue, we need to bring in at least $4,250 each month.
Gotcha.
And to have only 2 PT trainers, it's hard.
Right.
I am the third one, but you gotta realize I'm not always on the floor because I'm doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that, and we come short maybe like $100. I'm like, oh God, whatever, and this and that, and I'm like, oh man, like, and I had a meeting on Tuesday, and I will say I was kind of like aggressive,
okay.
you know what I mean? And they can tell, They can tell. And I I tell them like some of them are falling short or they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I had to be that type of like strong will person. And what I mean strong will, I'm kind of like, for instance, if I email you a task to do,
right,
and I have a date for you to do it by, it needs to be due before that date.
right.
Don't give me till the afternoon of that date, that your time.
Right.
Don't give me a day before that time.
Yeah.
And I told them that. I said, look, I'm telling y'all right now, if I give you a task, you better have it done.
Right.
They was kind of like sitting up, kind of like, oh, okay, well he mean business.
Right.
I'm like, yeah. I said, we're all adults in here, man.
Yeah.
I said, look, I'm not gonna be sitting here texting y'all like it's a waste of my time to do that.
Right.
I said, if I send you a call list of you to call people for PT and you're not doing it, I can tell you're not doing it. If I message a person and be like, hey, did you ever, nobody never call, stuff like that.
Right.
So that kind of build up on me, and then, of course the executive saying like, well, if you don't hit revenue this week, you got to go to, kind of like, I wouldn't say threaten.
Right.
But kind of like, it's going to happen. You got to go to corporate and explain yourself. And me, how I am, I'm kind of like, I'm not afraid of another human being. Like, I'm not afraid. And I kind of told her that. I looked at her. I was kind of like, that would be fine if I need to explain myself.
Yeah.
She was kind of like, oh, I'm like, yeah. I said, I'm going to try to hit it. I'm going to work hard. I said, but if it comes to that point, I'm going to talk to him.
Right.
She was kind of like, oh,
yeah.
Okay. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm kind of like, at the same time, don't threaten me with a good time. Like, that's not, I'm not that type of person that's going to be like, I'm gonna be shaking in front of the, cause at the same day, me and you, if I cut you, you're gonna bleed,
yeah,
breathe, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just your title is just above me, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
But I think I let all of that kind of like build up, whatever. So, and I gotta when I walk through my house door, I gotta leave. It's hard, but I push it to the side, whatever. But of course, my wife can smell it on me, kind of like, something's wrong.
She can tell, yeah. They always can.
But I'm gonna work on this summer. I'm gonna take time and just go back to therapy, focus on what I can focus on, whatever, and then keep it going, man.
Yeah, good. I'm definitely glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear you doing whatever it is you need to do in a healthy manner to get yourself back to the balance you need to achieve. Like,
speaking back to speaking of getting back to balance, I had a question. It's every year. How come during the summertime, everybody choose now to come to boot camp classes? Dude, I'm telling y'all right now on the podcast, man, it's not going to happen with that summertime.
Yeah, people get that summer body idea.
My class has been wacky full, and I'm like, dude. And I got people buying membership. Yeah, I'm trying to lose 25 pounds. And I looked at the person. I'm like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I said, but
you do realize you have to be sick to lose weight like that.
I was like, you can stay in my class. Like, I encourage you, whatever. And then we get into class. They're kind of like looking around. Everybody kind of like, do y'all do this? And they looked at Sherry. Somebody looked at Sherry one time. She's one of my top members in my class. Do y'all always do this? She said, sweet, I've been doing this from January all the way to like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, this ain't no game, man. You know what I mean? But it's just funny. During the summertime, I'm looking at my list, like, I don't know this person, I don't know this person. I'm like
they're coming out of the room.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, okay. It was and I encourage anybody to come, right?
Yeah.
There was a woman who was like 75, 70 years old.
Yeah.
And she was saying like, I don't know if I take it. I said, well, just try it, whatever. And the first time I said we run outside, she was like, "Nah, baby, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and go to the silver sneaker class." I'm like, "Yeah, come to my silver sneaker class. Like, it's cool, whatever."
Yeah.
But it's just funny now, like everybody's choosing now to try to get that beach body.
Yeah.
And I'm like, people, I'm telling you right now, you should have come and saw me in January. Maybe even March, whatever. Don't come right now. I mean, I want you to come now, but don't expect to get the best results you're going to get.
Don't work. Don't expect 6-7 months worth of results.
Yeah, and
in days or weeks.
It's not gonna happen, man. Unless you decide to get that shot thing, which I'm kind of up and down with the shot thing. You know what I mean?
People talking about it.
If you are very, very like been having this weight problem
yeah.
since you was like younger.
Right.
Borderline health issues.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm up for it.
Right.
Right. If you're a person that's in their 30s and all you gotta do is like get a good workout regimen, eating plan, whatever. If you want to
put in the time.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want a shortcut and kind of like, man, I'm just gonna go get the shot and call it a day, whatever. You know what I mean? Even when you get the shot, people don't know you still got to maintain a diet.
Yeah.
You still got to regulate exercise. You still got to regulate fluid systems.
Yep.
If you don't, there are a lot of side effects.
A lot of side effects. A lot of consequences.
As a master trainer, I'm up and down with it. Right.
Listen to them, folks.
I'm up and down. But I do have fellow clients, not throwing names, that have health issues. They've been having health issues, whatever. I'm kind of like, if the doctor says that because you have this health issue and you're borderline, yeah. But if a client comes to me that's no type of border issues, whatever, they just got to lose the weight, I'll tell them no. Like, you don't need me. If you want to get, you don't, I want you to work for it. I want you to feel accomplished after you work out and then you look at yourself and wait, like, I did that. I had to almost throw up in the trash can because I did that.
You put in the work.
Yeah. You know, rather than, you know, go to the, you know, you go in the bathroom and get yourself the shot, whatever.
Right.
But that, again, nothing against the medication. I just feel up and down with the situation.
Right. No, I get it. Yeah. I get it. Yeah, because there are, you know, at least two sides to it. You know, the people that it's like the doctor's telling you, you need to do X, Y. Same thing like with the surgeries and stuff like that. Yeah. Same thing. It's like, you need to do X, Y, Z because you need to drop this weight as soon as possible because it's affecting other systems in your body. Yeah. You know what I mean? Versus, I want to just drop this weight because
I want to squeeze myself.
I want to fit. I want to look a certain way or whatever like that. And it's funny because I know people on all sides of it. I know somebody who is in the medical profession who they use the shot just to, you know, drop a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they didn't, because it was for a cosmetic reason for them. Okay. But at the same time, I know people who are on it that like, it's like somebody telling them, look, you're gonna have this problem with your heart or this problem with this if you don't drop this weight. You know what I mean? So I see why it's something like that. Somebody in your position is torn about, you know what I mean? And you can see both sides. Yeah, so, I mean, and then there's people who fall somewhere in between. But I get it.
I mean, you just gotta, you know, you gotta see both sides, right? And I do. I see the positive. I see the negative. I see in the middle. You know, exactly. I'm not saying no to the brand. I'm just saying like I see both sides in the middle of the situation. You know, and I just don't want nobody to be thinking it's an easy fix.
Right. And that's what everybody's looking for.
Everybody wants the easy route out, whatever.
There's only a few people who are just out there to do the hardest thing because it's fun. It's only a few of us, right?
I like it because it's fun. I like it makes you feel good.
Yeah. There's only a few people out there.
Even like now, man, like work-wise, whatever, you know, technology, robots, AI's taking over, whatever, you know, soon, you know, like I think they got mechanical truck that deliveries gonna be pretty soon, whatever. Like it's easiest fix, whatever. You know, I'm kind of like, man, like you gotta realize, like it's gonna put people out of business pretty soon.
Yeah, there's a flip side to it.
It's always flip. And I'm kind of like, hey man, just be, you know, just like for doctors, whatever. They're gonna be like, hey man, all I gotta do is get a shot, but I don't even supposed to see no doctor. You know what I mean? Or a dentist, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm the same, but I gotta do is go to a machine, put my mouth over the machine, and it does like and it's like $10.99,
right?
Like
he said $10.99.
$29.99.
Perfect smile for $29.99.
Like like nah.
And you can get it from Walmart. And
I can just put this shit in for like 24 hours, whatever. Little mechanical robots going.
They got a machine at Walmart. Like, you know how they got the bubble gum machine and the video. They got a machine right here. You put your money in. Your teeth be nice.
Nice, man. They're going to go up to the gums, man. Put the tissues and stuff back in, whatever. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, until that machine have a software error or something that mess you up, or you find out that some of the material or chemical is used and is causing this issue in your brain or something. There's always that kind of stuff. And more likely than not, any shortcut route is going to have more of those things. It's going to have more of the, look, you're going to grow an extra toe. You're gonna lose 50, but you're gonna grow some extra toes. You know what I mean? Your back gonna get hairy. Remember, like with steroids, that was the thing. It's like, yo, you gonna bulk up,
man.
but you gonna have some problems.
We gonna get the zits on your back.
You're gonna be roid raging.
Your emotions gonna be all whack, whatever. You could be sitting here, be having a conversation, you just break down in tears because because Will stepped on the ant. Like, yo, man,
like you was talking about on last episode, the sandwich.
Yeah,
the sandwich. Look, could you imagine somebody raging and you come in and you're like, can I just get a sandwich? And the person's like, do you want such a man? I said I just want a sandwich.
Yeah.
I can see it, man. I can see it. It has happened and continues to happen.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Yeah. There's always, and that's like, we saying it laughing, but it's real. It's real. Like people suffer with that kind of stuff and deal with that kind of stuff because they trying to find that quick route. You know what I mean? And a lot of people find that like to compete, I need to do this. And I think a lot of times, like when you're talking about the people signing up to work out, a lot of times, more times than not, I think insecurities have people thinking they need to fit into that thing or they need to look like that person they saw in the magazine or whatever. And so what's the quickest way to get to that? You know what I mean? It's like
I like the rush of the challenge for me trying to, if I want to lose a certain weight, I like the rush of me losing that weight.
Right.
Like my goal right now is to get 200 flat.
Okay.
So I always look at the scale kind of like, I'm itching down slowly, but it's all good.
Right.
I would say on the cruise ship when I was working out, I noticed a lot of bulkheads. I'm like, how the heck are y'all getting so shredded? I mean, I was pretty well shredded,
right?
But it was because the diet,
right?
Which the diet was struggling
crazy,
hard,
right?
Hard,
right? Yeah.
I wouldn't do it on land just because on the ship I had a chef to cook for me.
Right.
So I had things like but I realized I was like, I talked to somebody, I said, man, Marco, those guys are on roids. I said, wow. How they get on the roids? It was like, Marco, when they go to Mexico, you can get it.
You get it. Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yep.
And they was like, yeah. He said, you want some? I said, no.
No.
I said, no. But I'm wondering, like, they walking around those, with the tank top. They walking. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, and I'm walking around like sore as heck because I'm doing like 200 of this and that, whatever, and they doing like one set and getting that extra pump, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense because I wonder why every time I go to Mexico, they all like group together and like rush to the it was like a medical store where you can get like this or that, whatever, and I went to the dentist, right, and I got some medicine because I had like a bad tooth infection, whatever.
Right.
And they gave me something, and once I took it, it was like instantly gone, and it was like I couldn't feel nothing for like months, right? And I go to the dentist. They said, "What medicine you take?" And I gave him the bill. He said, "It's illegal, right?" I know. I figured. I said, "What are you talking about?" They said, "I got this from Mexico." They was like, "How you get it here?" I said, "Well, I worked on the ship, and when I went there, and when I check off, they don't check us like that because I'm
your
a worker,
your staff."
It was like, well, if I was you, he said, "I'd trash this, whatever, because this contains this and that, whatever." And it gets. And I'm like, well, crap. I'm like,
yeah.
I said, no wonder why when I went to go get my blood, I'm like, oh, okay, well. If I knew that, whatever, like it was raising other things up.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, oh, okay. So now I know, like,
oh man,
if y'all going on cruise ships, whatever, read before you get whatever. Get the American brand rather than the brand you don't know. If you can't read the language, I'm sitting there looking the box, kind of like, I don't know nothing with Spanish. I don't know is that this word or whatever. I'm like, I don't know.
And I don't know if it still happens, but at one point, and this is probably part of a lot of different things, but I know at one point they had like bus trips. Like you take bus trips into like Mexico to go to the pharmacies and stuff and get the stuff because it was mad cheap. And then I guess it was other stuff going on too, where like you could get, you know what I'm saying, different medicines. Yeah. So yeah. I was like, wow. Oh, that one camera done stopped. Oh well.
Oh.
We got this one right here. We good.
Good.
Yeah. But that's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Just those guys. I was like, yo, man. I said, well, at least I feel honest with myself.
Yeah.
I did it the right way.
Yeah.
I did it the right way. I never was pressured to even do steroids.
Right.
Even when I was younger, and I seen the younger guys my age doing it, and I was kind of like, man. And people swore up and down. Now the closest I probably, which is not steroids, everybody don't get it twisted because they still
Right.
selling the GNC,
Right.
was called NO2 pills, and I took it my senior year.
Oh, really?
Right, and it was getting me like super duper. I said, why am I getting so large for? And my brother Marty put me on to it because he took it in the army.
Yeah.
Hey, Marty, he said, Marco, take this while you working out, whatever. I'm sitting there, and of course my crazy brother, whatever. When I work out with him, he's the one that got me doing military stuff like 300 of this and that, whatever, and this. And when I returned back my senior year for football, I wasn't going to play my senior year, but my brother encouraged me, kind of like, hey, we work hard, whatever, just go. And I remember I walked in, and one of my coaches said, well, God dang, what would you do? And I was like, what? They were saying like, hey, Marco, man. Like, he put me to the office. They all put me to the office. Like, just be honest with me. You want the juice?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know the term. I'm like, well, I had orange juice this morning. Like, no, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm thinking, no, I'm not taking nothing. It was like, well, she said, if he asked you to pee in a cup, would you pee in a cup? I'm like, yeah. And then it was kind of, well, we're not telling you to pee in a cup, but you are super, like, compared to your junior year, you was 198. You come back here, you 235.
Wow.
And I'm like, I worked out during the off season.
Yeah.
Still, Mark, and I didn't realize how much
they didn't understand.
And I'm like, okay, and even when I walked through the field, they was kind of like, yo, whoa, what's going on here? Like, I'm like, why is everybody like sitting here?
Right.
It was like, and they were just like, but I think that's the only time I came. NO2 is what they mix in protein, creatine.
Yeah.
Creatine is a formula that makes the blood flow faster to the muscles. As protein makes it grow.
Right.
So I was getting both of the thing. So I always stay thirsty because because when your blood's rushing, whatever, you get dehydrated. Whatever,
right.
I'm sitting there like in class, like drowning water, like God, and I'm like sitting here like sweating. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know people how they think like, oh, Marco's on something.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a little funny topic story though.
Yeah. I definitely remember cats taking the shots like
really
in they rears in the locker room. I remember that, I remember that, and it was some cats that they didn't care if you knew or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were like, I'm trying to get mine. I was like, hey, you do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You do what you gotta do.
You do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
I wonder how they are right now in life though.
That's a different story, right?
I got you.
That's a different story. So I'm not in contact with none of them, but they wasn't really in my friend group anyway, because my friend group wasn't really messing with none of that. But the cats that I hung out with were natural, you know what I mean? But we had a couple dudes who you could tell like they had the potential to go to the next level. So I don't know if a friend or somebody got in their ear, a coach or somebody said, look, if you want to get to that next level, we can do this for you.
Even in like early 1960s, even the 70s, whatever, if you're in high school, through college, or NFL, or whatever pro, I didn't know, because I remember I used to talk to my uncles and my father, whatever. They said like if they like had like a bad like knee sprain, ankle sprain, whatever, the medic team was shooting them up. They saw it's just numbing stuff.
Yeah.
And my dad when my dad told me the story, I was like, Dad, I don't think that was numbing stuff, whatever. Right. And then I look back at all his friends and uncles, they all like walking over like this, and their knees are like jacked up. Whatever. And I'm kind of like, oh, they got y'all. Whatever. They was shooting y'all up. Y'all thought it was just like a regular like shot, whatever. You know what I mean? Because even if they was off, if I was playing professional, I'm like, oh no, let's give me that ice, like
yeah.
Like those people in the late 60s, early 70s, even so on, whatever, are so jacked up with like, if it's the concussion or if the shots they were taking, whatever, you know what I mean? Like before they even brought in the concussion protocol, whatever, there were so many mental cases. People were saying they were complaining about, headaches, stuff like they were just thinking like, oh, just because of long football, because of football season, during a football career. But rather than not, it's because their brain was swollen. It was like banging against their skull. Imagine your brain being swollen for all those years and your skull is like this and your brain, and it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the the middle of the front lobe of your brain is like your emotion right here, and your front lobe is pushing. So you're whacked out. You know. So
Bro.
when I watched the documentary of the Patriots tight end, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he was.
He like since he was since Pop Warner to high school to college, NFL, man, like he was always like they were telling him like take them hits, whatever. Like he always getting bang, bang, bang. That's why it scared me to now. I'm like, yo, like if Marco wants to play, like I'm not gonna be the father, like, nah, you know what I said, try it.
Right.
And if you don't like it, like go for it, whatever.
Right.
Even now I see Pop Warner kids, like I see them like on
they hitting. They hitting 5, 6 years old.
And I'm like, I'm looking at the coaches like, why, man? Why?
Yeah.
Like you tell them the kid, like they're going there like it's 2 kids against 1, and you gotta get up. And I'm like, yo, like I understand you trying to teach them, you get them ready basic for football, whatever, man. But those brains are still developing. Why do you think in soccer at Marco's age they're not allowed to hit the ball with their head? If you hit it, it's a card. It's a card. You know what I mean? Because Marco got a card, or whatever. Like he instantly he sees it on TV, or whatever, right? You know, it wasn't hard, but they was like, they threw a card at him, like, no, you can't do that. And I was 100% with them. I'm like, yo, you can't, don't not use your head.
Right.
And I told Marco, like, your body's still developing. Even when the weight room, he seen me do a heavyweight.
I said,
that's
no. What the boys always want to lift heavyweight.
No, I'm like, Marco, 10 pounds, 15. That's it.
Reps. Get your reps.
And he be sitting there like, oh, this is light.
That's okay.
And I look at him, I say, do it 100 times.
Exactly.
You get the 50. He like,
get your reps.
I'm like, reps. I said, your muscle is still developing, son. Like, let's just let it develop, man. Like, it's fine. You know, that's why I just feel, man, it's just that concussion.
It's sad, right?
It's sad, man. I watched the documentary, man. Like, I felt bad for Hernandez just because, you know, yes, he was in a bad place.
Right.
He was doing bad things.
Right.
But he didn't know the right decisions to make.
Right.
When he got older. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
and you have to wonder, could any of that have been avoided had he taken less shots to his head?
Oh, 100%.
Could any of that, like, did any of those hits have to do with, you know, or help to form the monster that he end up being? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man, but I don't think it's. I don't think it's worth it, man.
I don't think it's worth it either.
I mean, look, they said that Percy has suffered from migraines since he was younger. He admitted it, and he says that. And on the way, he said he played every NFL game, every high school game. He always played when he was high.
Right.
He had to smoke. He said
I believe it.
Smoke.
Yeah.
And I was like, man,
that's a lot of them like that.
And I remember, growing up. Because we played around the same era, and I'm like, man, dude, and I felt bad. I'm like, dude, he woke up with headaches.
Right.
That would make me like go crazy,
scared,
mentally, like, yo, I'm gonna snap on somebody.
You know what I mean?
And that's probably some of the reason why he got it. Like, he was like, dude, like, I'm not feeling it.
Right.
Leave me. So I'm like, so he had to. And same thing for Hernandez. You saw in the documentary, he was sitting there. When he smoked, he was like good.
Right.
But of course, you can't do that every
day. No, you can't.
It's the same thing. Like, you just can't do it every day. Like, it's just numbing the process of your brain. Like, you know what I mean? When it fades away.
That's what I was going to say. And it takes more each time you do it. It takes more and more to calm you down.
Yeah.
So because your body works up a tolerance. The more and more of that stuff you put in, your body works up a tolerance for it.
So I told people, like, hey man, like if you're out there and you're putting your child through danger just because you want to live yourself through your child, like,
that's whack. That's whack.
It's stupid. It's whack.
That's whack.
Ignorant.
That's whack.
It's all of the above, man. I'm like, dude, we had our chance. It's done.
It's done.
It's done. Right?
It's done.
Don't put your child in some type of way because you want to. You know what I mean? I'm like,
didn't Al Bundy teach you anything? Al Bundy used to always talk about his highlights for Polk High. It's like, come on, man.
That's the. I was trying to think.
Look, every time Al Bundy did that, a little part of me would be like, yeah, I remember my heyday. But then I would look at Al Bundy. I'd be like, Al Bundy's a loser though.
Yeah.
So what do I want to be like him?
Right.
Do I want to be
shoe salesman?
20? Not even a shoe salesman, but just the type of person he was. He was a loser. Like, he ain't treat his kids good, his wife good, or nothing. Like, he was down on himself. But the one highlight he had was when he would talk about his high school football.
Yeah.
So that make me look forward to like, all right, so with my kids in high school, am I gonna be trying to like tell them how great I was and make them live up to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man.
It's I just know a lot of people who be doing that. I
do too.
And I be listening. I'm like, yeah, that's.
I catch myself doing it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Sometimes only when I start talking about it if Marco asks me stuff.
Right,
like that,
right.
It's funny because I have like a little box that I put in a bag of like when I was like younger and I was like in my college days doing this and doing that.
Right.
And I just kept it with her, right? And I didn't pay no mind to it. And I was sitting there like watching TV and Marco was like, Dad, can I look at your old high school yearbook? I'm like, yeah, go.
Yeah.
And he pulled it out, you know what I mean? And he again, I'm not looking at it. I'm watching one of my episodes of one of my I'm hooked, whatever.
Yeah.
And he came up to me and said, Dad. I said, what's up, man? I'm gonna play with my. He was like, how come you're behind this girl dance like that? I said, give us it. I said, oh. And my wife was like, and my wife, I love her to death. She was kind of like, she said, Marco, it's a long time ago.
Right.
I said, I had like 21.
Right.
This is when I was first time I visit. It was me and my friend Zeph visit my brother in Jacksonville. He stayed in the house with all those lawyers when they were about to come lawyers and stuff. And I was just sitting there and I'm like, oh God. I was holding a bottle of Crown going like this.
For real?
And I was like, oh God, man. And he just said like, I said, Mark, I was not always with your mom.
Right,
man. Like,
right.
I was young.
Right.
I was dumb.
Right.
I did it. I got it out my system. And he was just, I had to explain to him. I think he always thought that I was always with my mom.
They do.
And I'm like, no, you know what I mean?
They do.
I'm kind of like, well, the bag's open now. I might as well go through it. So he's just sitting there like, just going through it,
looking. Yeah.
He's kind of making weird faces like, what? Like, what? Really? Like, I'm like, yeah. I said, I wasn't always the same guy I usually looked at, whatever. And I explained to him. He was kind of like,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah. I don't know what. I just kept those from memories. I'm kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, even nothing crazy, but
no.
It was just one of those days. It was kind of funny.
Yeah. It just stuff to take you down memory lane.
Yeah. And then I started going off of that. I said, I remember when I went to go visit your Uncle Marty. Man, we had a good time. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was kind of like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. It was just me, Zev, and his cousin. We went to the Halloween thing.
Yeah.
We had a good time. He was like, yeah. So yeah.
That's crazy. That's funny, man. That's funny. Yeah, memory lane can be a good thing or a bad thing.
No, but it was definitely. I enjoyed visiting my my brother, cause especially with me being 21.
Oh yeah.
And I was my first time actually driving from Virginia to Florida, so I felt independent.
Yeah, independent. Yeah.
Of course, my mom was like nervous. Heck, my dad was kind of like, boy, I told her like, he gonna learn. Let him go. So sitting there, and back then I didn't have a GPS. I had MapQuest. I had to stick to my dashboard. So I'm sitting there looking like, all right, I gotta get off. Like, oh, hold on, I gotta get off. Get off right here.
That's funny.
And when I got to Emporia, it says / like
speed trap.
I was like, oh, okay, speed trap me slow down, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, I had Zeph in the passenger, his cousin in the back seat. We're sitting there like bumping music, whatever. And I'm sitting there like reading the map. I'm like, oh, okay. And then we get on I-95, and I'm like, well, it says, I don't know if it's correct, but it says we got to stay on I-95 for 5 hours. Is that correct, people? And it was like, I don't know. I said, this wrong directions. I'm kind of like, oh, okay. So, one of those things, and then, you got to read the signs, actually know when you're going to get gas, whatever.
Right.
You can't relay on the GPS, say, like, next stop to get gas, whatever.
Right, no.
So all that was a good experience for me to grow up with.
Yeah, you gotta have.
Now look at me, I'm traveling with my family on cruise control because I know the in and out the roads, whatever, man. So yeah, that's good. That's a good time. Oh boy, kids! If y'all hear in the background, man, you know it's fishing summertime.
We by the pool, man. We by the pool.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all know what it is, man. Where my dad's at podcast, by the pool, reminiscing.
Yep.
Sometimes it's good to go down that memory lane, and hopefully we can help our kids to avoid some of our snafus and You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Look.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that we had enough experience to kind of guide them to a different direction. Kind of like,
Definitely.
hey, I did that. It was not a good idea what I did. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest with Mark. I said, look, I'll tell him stories like, hey, that it was not a good idea what I did.
Right.
This is what happened.
Right.
And kind of give him like a little scare tactic. Kind of okay, well let's not do that. I'm like, yeah, let's not do that.
Right.
Let's not
Right.
do that. But I think he's going to be a good kid. You know, boys going to be boys. I mean, right now, Marco was just torturing one kid with a water gun. One of them said, like, stop. I'm like, kind of like, Marco, like, I wanted to go up the podcast show, but like,
Oh,
Marco,
no,
stop,
no.
whatever. Because you know what I mean? Because Marco is younger than your boys, but at the same time, Marco is so goddamn aggressive. Man.
Hey, no, they're good. They're
he was
good.
trying to pick your he was like,
Yeah, they're good. They're good. And they're in a mode where they're like, mommy and daddy gave us a speech before we got here.
Okay.
Said behave. You want to be invited back. So they're trying to like be calm, right?
Okay.
But no, trust me, they're good. They're good. And it's not even about a toughness thing.
Okay.
They have that same thing in them.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
I just told him before he went, like, behave yourself.
Yeah,
but again, he don't have siblings, right?
Right.
So
See?
so for him, he's screaming like, "Oh, he's liking it, whatever."
Right.
But at the same time, your son's like, "Oh, I got water in my throat."
But see, the two boys, they go back and forth like that all the time anyway.
Oh, okay.
And if you looking at that like, dang, Marco, what you doing? If you see some of the stuff they do to each other, you would be like, that was nice.
Okay, I don't feel too bad.
No, please don't feel bad.
Too bad.
Please don't feel bad.
Like Marco only has me, right? So I be sitting here and I'd be like tossing him around the pool, like you know what I mean? So he never. I don't think he had that sibling type.
No, it's good. I think it's good because like for my kids, they so used to each other and being able to do whatever. Like when they go out into the world, they're on chill mode because they know like they get in trouble for that mess at home.
That's a good way to see it.
So they try to go out in the world and they try to make sure that mom and dad don't have to deal with them doing that. Like it's one thing for us to be comfortable at home and wild out.
Yeah.
But when we go out, we can't really wild out like that.
Yeah, so, like that, man. Wild out right now.
Nah. They definitely enjoy it, man.
Nice.
They definitely enjoy it. If you see them acting like they don't enjoy it, it's an act.
Okay.
It's an act.
I got you.
Yeah, they're having fun. Y'all having fun? Yeah. Yeah, the kids are in the pool. We're right by the pool where my dad's at podcast. Just enjoying the time, man. Just enjoying the time. You see one of the little knuckleheads right here with us. He just got to be on the show. That camera stopped recording, Marco, because you weren't even here, man, to make sure. Just kidding. Y'all know what it is. You don't know what time it is. Listen to the man.
With my dad said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment anytime for the next podcast. With my dad said, you guys hear y'all?
He's back in the pool. Yeah. He's gone.
Oh, boy.
That's what's up, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.